Hello, everyone. What is up?
Hello.
Welcome back to Two Bros and a Beard. My name is Ibrahim.
My name is Asad.
Welcome back, everyone, to our next episode, episode 13, I believe. What's up, guys?
Dude, it feels so cool being able to say that we're on episode 13.
We're in double digits now. We're cool. We're cool people.
I want to preface before the podcast goes on, I'm currently in some sort of medical limbo. I either have a cold or just bad allergies, but I sound really bad, so I apologize for how bad it will sound for you guys as well. Usually, I know you guys are used to my very calm and soothing voice.
Versus mine.
But now I sound like I fell on the floor and like broke my nose.
Yeah. You sound like raspy a little bit.
Yeah. My voice also gets a little deeper, and
makes sense.
I like it. So when I was a kid, I would be like, when I was sick, I'd be like, "Hello, guys.
I'm Batman."
And everybody would be like, "Oh my gosh, you're so hot." Anyway.
Oh, yeah, that's what they said. As a kid. Yeah, 100%.
I wanted to... I was looking at our analytics the other day. I know that the rough amount of people who watch our podcast, right, are like 5 or 6 people that we know. Mm-hmm. But then the other viewers on the podcast are people we don't know.
Yeah, there's a couple, because they also, like, it brings it up in, like, age range and stuff like that. There's a couple, like, 23-year-olds listening to our podcast, and I'm like...
Yeah, other people we don't know. And I just wanted to say, for those 5 or 6 people that we don't know that are actually listening, I mean, I love our friends who listen as well. I appreciate you guys. But also for those people who we don't even know that have given our podcast a chance and are hearing us out.
Hello.
Thank you so much. Thank you guys so much for stopping by, and I hope that you guys enjoy.
I hope Assad's raspy voice doesn't scare you away. This is what happens once. Or, I don't know, one episode.
I usually don't get sick. So this is a very, once in a lifetime kind of thing.
You said it might be allergies, though. So, like, it might just be allergies.
I'm pretty sure it's just allergies.
Yeah.
But, today, we had a really, really... Oh, wait. We didn't have any bathroom review today. Haven't seen any extraordinary bathrooms yet to comment on, but hopefully by next week we will.
Extraordinary.
But we do have a list of conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
And we were talking about this with our friends. We are really hyped. So now we want to go down each of these conspiracy theories and give our thoughts on them.
Conspiracy theories have always been, like, really weird to me because people have thought of, like, anything and everything.
Yeah.
And they'll make it a conspiracy theory. And I don't know why, but it's like, it's a fun game to like go down like Reddit or like Google or something and just to see all the different conspiracy theories that people can come up with.
Human beings have like the immense potential for imagination, and we create cool stuff like balloons and whatever. Then every now and then we also have some hiccups, like some of the stuff we'll talk about. And I mean, to me and Ibrahim, I'll just assume for you, a lot of these things kind of seem weird, or like the conclusion is pretty natural, but I think there's not really any point in calling out if they're stupid or not, or like have reason.
Yeah.
So I think we should just talk about them without trying to bash them, and then just see how it goes. Just
like a breakdown of what we think of it without bashing.
Right. Because I mean, it's pointless, right?
Yeah.
Some of these things, especially with people with our opinions, right? Like, yeah, it doesn't do anything good to say the same thing everybody said over and over again.
Yeah.
So starting with number 1, I guess, not a direct conspiracy, but recently, unfortunately, there were 8 or 10 or so people that passed away at the
Travis Scott concert.
At the Travis Scott concert.
Now, you might be like, why is this in conspiracy theory episode, not just like whatever? It's a mix of pop culture, current news culture, whatever I'm looking for, but also like because when we were researching about like conspiracy theories and stuff like that, there was
apparently a lot of Travis Scott stuff came up. Yeah. I thought it would be more like just people arguing the legality of stuff, but no, people were straight up tinfoil hatting that. Yeah,
it was a full on like Travis Scott does this, Illuminati, blah, 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 sacrifice ritually. I'm like, or it was just a bad concert, like something went down. That's might be just it.
See, to my knowledge, what I only knew what happened was that the concert was pretty rowdy. Travis knows that his fans are pretty rowdy. He encourages it. And then there was some conflict. A lot of that rowdiness kind of got out of hand, and then 8 people got trampled or so. But then you were telling me about some other thing that happened.
Okay, so from what I figured out from like random news articles that I've read and like TikToks and Instagrams and Brown Daisy Mom WhatsApps, the best
place for information
is that so the line, I guess, or like the start of the concert took a while. I think it took longer than I expected to actually start the concert, and people were already in the what's the word? Not like the dance floor, but like the area where everyone's supposed to be sitting.
The mosh.
The mosh, I guess.
Mosh pit.
And then in the middle of the mosh pit, the big area where everyone's like standing and listening to the music, there's a gap.
Wait, that's called like something else. The mosh pit is just where everybody like literally they start fighting each other, like they wrestle,
I'm talking about like
they push each other,
where the audience sits whenever the performer's performing.
Okay, yeah,
I don't know. I
think
audience.
I don't know. I was in one of those for a concert.
Whatever it is, wherever the audience sits.
Here, you keep talking. I'll Google it.
Yeah, wherever the audience sits. Now I heard that where like that big area where all the audience sits and like the fans, they dance or whatever. There's a split down the middle, so the technicians, people, security, whatever, can walk up and down, and it's guarded off, like railed off. So it's like a fence in between the two sides, and everyone was just kind of like chilling until like the concert starts. When the concert started, obviously people were trying to get closer to the performer, to the stage, and so as people started walking closer to the stage, and it started creating a small amount of like room for people to move. Everyone was kind of just squishing into each other like sardines, and that caused people to start like kind of like freaking out and like I can't breathe well, blah blah blah. But because you can't go right and you can't go left, and in front of you is a stage, the only way to go is backwards. But people are coming towards you, so you can't walk backwards. So essentially, people started like getting really like breathing really heavy, and they weren't actually able to breathe. And so some people started passing out. And then I don't know how long it took for people to understand that there's people passing out and getting hurt, but it got to the point where people started like actually dying. And so when when the ambulance and like people started coming to help, first they were understaffed. I read that they were understaffed. Security was understaffed. Medical first aid was understaffed. And so when people were trying to get to said people that are passed out, dead, whatever the case is, no one was moving because at Travis Scott concert, and those concerts usually like like Travis Scott and a bunch of other rappers, they have like lit party hard like concerts, and so no one moves.
They go crazy, but also they were like having like I don't know demonic like music or themes like for
whatever
Travis's concert. Yeah. So everybody was like already in the mode of like
going crazy and like
hell and stuff.
So and so no one was moving forward, like the guys that are trying to help like first aid and like medical people. And so there was even a video that went on, I saw on the news a little while ago, where some guy was on top of the golf cart that has like the medical people in it, and he would not get off because he was dancing on top of the golf cart.
Yeah.
I'm like,
and I think in the back of that video was Travis.
Yeah.
And he could see what was happening.
And he just kept going.
And the biggest like deal with the event is that he knew it, or he said he had like a complex situation, but it's pretty apparent that he could tell that it was happening, and he just wasn't stopping the show.
And so so before we get yelled at by others, he did stop the show once for a kid or someone like did pass out, but at one point I saw that either his agent or someone that works with him ran up to him. Two people ran up to him and told him like, "Hey, people are like dying," and he was like, "Hey, okay, we'll deal with that lader. Let's get going." And he kept going with his concert, and so that's why people are kind of like, "Cancel Travis Scott."
I've seen like some people say that he like in defense of Travis, like he's got like a lot of money behind him, a lot of things to worry about. So like when he sees them going through that thing, he's not, one of the things he could be thinking is like, we spent so much money on the arena.
Sure.
Right? If I cut the show short, this will happen. The speakers, the staff, some XYZ, just different elements of the concert, right? So he's like thinking also from like a waste perspective.
Maybe, yeah. Like I don't know what it is, but
which
also
I thought that was an okay defense.
Oh yeah. Also, like there was a lot of people that were saying like some security guards and some people started actually quitting on spot just because like they were understaffed and like we're not supposed to be doing all this. So people were quitting. And then what was it? Shoot, I was gonna say something else, but I forgot what it was. And then the really weird one, like I don't even know if it's true or not, or it's a stretch, but I've heard people say it and people are fighting against it, where that there was people getting like
needled in the
injected
neck
or something, and like that's what started causing all the uproar and people not moving and freaking out and all that mumbo jumbo, which I don't know if it's true because I think the sheriff came out with a statement saying no one was being injected. I don't know what it was, but people were saying, yeah, bro, there was injections going on and needles and like trampolines and everyone died and there was like a lot more hurt, and that's true. And on the same fact that you were talking about, I just remembered of him like stopping the show and like canceling it, whatever. There has been many cases with this whole Travis Scott thing. I've seen a lot of videos of like Logic, Billie Eilish.
No, Logic said something.
No, as in okay. No, hold on. Let me finish before you.
Them stopping their
them stopping their concerts to help whatever.
At my concert for Logic that I went to, he was like, "Yo, everybody take a couple steps back, right?"
Yeah.
And then every now and then, he was like, "Hey, y'all, chill, right? Like, yo, give
there
each other some
There was
space."
a video that blew up of like whenever people were comparing like different rappers, whatever, to Travis Scott. One of the videos was Logic, and he was like, he saw some kid pass out, and so he literally made everyone in the audience just like separate, like the part like the Red Sea to like so for the medical people to go and get there. And Billie Eilish was like, "Oh my god, she's passing out. Cut the music. Get me some water so I can give it to the girl in the audience." Like, there's been a lot of those cases. I'm not saying if he's right or wrong. I don't really.
I mean, Travis had like an audience of 50,000, right?
Yeah.
But all of these are some pretty big artists too. So I imagine that they also had a lot of people, and they still stopped the show.
You know, the next day after the Travis, after the bad night, the next day got canceled, right? Mm-hmm. There was, I think it was like a 2-day concert or whatever. I think within like a day or two after that, what's his name, Joji or whatever, had a concert with just as many people, but his concert was run correctly. There was enough security. There was enough first aid. There's everything, and so it went completely fine. And everyone was like, "Yeah, would you look at that, Travis?"
I mean, yeah. I mean, the worst thing I think is that the next day, right, when Travis was like issuing his apology at night, man was just rubbing his face and like
there's a lot of people saying he was high.
He didn't directly apologize for anything or call anything out. He said, "I want to make sure my fans leave with a positive experience," right? And I thought, okay, yeah, that's fine. But you could have said like, "My fans' safety is the most important to me," but nah, he literally went out of his way to say it's not the safety, it's that I want them to have fun, right? So at the cost of some other people dying, his other fans had a lot of fun. And he never explicitly said sorry. And something that I didn't notice until I saw a couple other people make videos about it and pointed out is he intentionally put a black and white filter over his apology, which I think that's like another layer of like he knows it was an apology.
She knows.
And he made it seem sad with the filter.
You know,
which I thought was just so dumb.
There was a lot of people that said that he put the filter on because he was so high. You know, when you get really high, your eyes are red or whatever. So you don't see how high he is.
There was also people saying like really? His skin didn't look good or something, so he was trying to wash it out. I guess, but still, why does your skin or your red eyes matter compared to the 8 people that died? Also, at your show,
Drake was also there at the show, and I'm surprised no one's hating on him.
No, because what did he do? He didn't do anything.
I don't know, but people are passing out while he was on stage. So everyone's like, "Hey, you too, bro."
I don't think it was during Drake's performance. I think everything was fine during
one kid, I think, like died while Drake's performance was going on. So that's why everyone's like, "Hey, Drake too, right?" Question mark.
Might have to do some more research on that. Yeah, what's up with Drake, bro? Why is nobody calling out Drake?
Bro, Drake's been in like the slums since like day one. He's fine. Yeah. Anyway, but the reason we bring up Travis Scott's thing just to address it, right? Because we also said beginning of this podcast and journey that we did, we were going to talk about current news things, current hot topics. You know?
Yeah, we're not trying to inform goss. We're just trying to talk about it in general. You know?
Yeah. But
I don't
also
want to be a stupid news reporting podcast where they just talk about really bad things happening all the time and crap on people.
Yeah. No, but we also wanted to bring this up because of the amount of conspiracy theories behind it. There was one
immediately a couple days later.
Yeah, there was one that I read literally not even an hour ago that said it was a sacrifice ritual at his concert.
I mean,
and he is the main leader or something.
If you look at all of the demonic stuff they were doing, like the themes and the Satanism stuff, I wouldn't be able to disagree. It seemed pretty scary. I mean, obviously, I know it wasn't real because Travis is just doing that, artistically. Yeah. But still, okay, you just, out of context, see a bunch of people, demonically chanting, right? Singing songs backwards and stuff. Listening to, those what they were saying was he was playing like music 8 hours before the concert, right, in the festival area, of like those like that like track in horror movies where people are talking backwards or like whispering and that's why some people were saying like everybody was on edge already because they were in that for so long. When you play all that stuff, when you do that stuff, I mean, his style, his theme, whatever, I'm not against it, but I mean, yeah, that opinion makes sense. That theory makes sense.
There was one that said he's part of the Illuminati, and the Illuminati asked him to like kill people, and their sole reason was, you know how he sometimes has like the big head of his like light up, like whenever he walks out, his entrance is like his head or whatever, his mouth and his eyes were like white or something, like lit up with like white lights, and so everyone's like, you know, the Illuminati does that to you. You make white lights and you become part of the Illuminati just because, you know, something's not. I was like, I'm not gonna continue reading this because this just seems a lot. Baby. Yeah, I don't know what it is, but it was way too many for it to be normal for his concert. Illuminati, the Bermuda Triangle ritual, the demonic rituals. I was like, really, guys?
I just think it's crazy that it's only been 3 days. It's only been 3 days.
It's been a couple days, and people are like, nah, bro, the demon came and took him.
Yeah, it's kind of nuts. I mean, like, this didn't happen for Lil Nas, bro. And he had even more demonic stuff. Yeah. Arguably. He had blood in his shoes. Remember that one?
Yeah, he got sued by Nike for that. Yeah.
That was so funny. I thought that was hilarious.
But, you know, everyone wants to cancel people for demon stuff. I don't know. I feel like we can't talk about demon stuff.
I mean, it's just not something really to talk about.
Because, have you seen Lucifer?
Yes.
Do you remember when
show.
Yeah, it's not a bad show. Whenever that show first came out, there was a bunch of, like, Catholic white moms coming after the show wanting it to like kicked off of like Netflix.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, if you don't like it, just don't watch it. Same thing. If you don't want to practice my religion, don't practice it.
Yeah.
Type of thing. But they were like fighting against it. That's why it's like satanic little thingies. I don't know how to go down that road.
I mean, I don't. It's not my not my vibe.
Because I've watched the show. It's a good show, but the majority of it's not him being like a demon per se. It's him looking normal, helping the cops or whatever.
Yes.
Every now and then he has like a little demon moment. But I was like, hey, Karen, relax, bro. Relax, bro. Or it's because he was also very good looking and like the demon's not supposed to be, the devil's not supposed to be good looking or something.
Yeah. Well,
I'm like, y'all are stretching it a little bit. Just
it is a CW show.
Yeah, I don't know.
So I don't know what anyone else was expecting in there.
But speaking of Illuminatis, the Illuminati is one of the biggest conspiracy theories. One of
the oldest.
Yeah, biggest, oldest. You grow up like hearing about it is Illuminati.
Yeah, especially
we'll count down from
being in elementary school, right, up till high school. The Illuminati was like the first thing, like the first, like conspiracy theory. Like for some reason in the early 2000s, it was just so like prevalent. Kanye kept flashing the triangle, confusing people out. It was just really funny. I remember we used to tell different variations of stories in elementary school, like about like how the Illuminati was formed.
Yeah.
Something about how like they have like different dollar bills or something that they use for each other to know that.
Yeah, because on a dollar bill, there's the triangle
with the eye thing. Yeah, and then I remember someone saying like XYZ is in the Illuminati, and then we would like actually like Google it, really try to figure it out. There was something where like almost every major celebrity at the time had some sort of claim for being part of the Illuminati. And
everywhere.
We hadn't learned about like the KKK or anything like that in history, right?
There's a headquarters in Germany.
All of the iconography was just triangles and eyes, and it wasn't anything else. So the only thing we could associate that to was the dollar bill.
Yeah, you would walk into like the boys' bathroom, and like someone with like a Sharpie would draw like the triangle with the eye in the middle of it, and be like, "Oh my god, the Illuminati is here," or whatever.
I used to draw that everywhere.
Yeah.
And then when Gravity Falls came out, and
true.
Bill Cipher was literally drawn like the Illuminati triangle with the top hat. It kind of made it better, you know, because now we had a face. And it was actually kind of funny that the way that show played out, his character exemplified a lot of Illuminati-esque things.
Yeah. I feel like the Illuminati conversation, I guess, has died off, right?
I think you know what would be so meta, bro? If they had like a meeting with their like big guns and they were like, yo, listen, there's too many people asking about us now. We need to die down. So they told their people to act like it was fake.
Be like, hey, let's pull back a little bit before they find us.
Like they paid people to be like, no, it's fake. It's wrong. Like people to disprove it to get the public to calm down. And then years later, now they're just chilling, operating incognito.
The I'm looking at some of the Illuminati stuff right here. It says the founder of the Illuminati was Adam Weishaupt?
Weishaupt.
German, some random German, and
Weishaupt.
It was founded in on May 1st, 1776. Isn't that like
6-6?
no? What? No, it's 616. When was the Declaration of Independence signed?
Oh my God, Ibrahim.
No, hold on. Hear me out. When was the Declaration of Independence signed? Something happened in 1776, didn't it?
1776, not 1766.
Yeah, this is 17. Am I tripping?
1776.
When was Illuminati was founded?
Huh? You said 66 earlier, not 76.
Oh, I don't know if I did or not, but I said it's 76.
Well, that's kind of sus.
So independence. What is it? What's it called? Declaration of Independence signed.
Independence signing.
Sign date. Where's the date? I know words. I promise I know words. July 4th, 1776.
Oh my God! Dude. only a couple months later, the Illuminati became, or actually, the Illuminati was first.
May, June, July.
The Illuminati is older than America. That's so funny, bro. That's so funny.
That's wild. Can you imagine having a conversation? As we're signing the Declaration of Independence, are we gonna add anything about the Illuminati in here?
As we talk about it more, I think the conspiracy theories that are like more grounded in history have the highest like yield. They have the strongest following.
Oh yeah,
because like I remember right when everybody used to say it's fake. I was like yeah. And then I would Google it, and then I'd see the history, and I was like, wait. But history textbooks don't lie, so then it must be real.
I've written a real connection with historic. Bro, some of the stuff I'm reading right now about it is just like weird.
Dude, what if the Illuminati made the Illuminati meme so that people took it as a joke, so that they stopped talking about it in real life?
I want to find, what's the dude's name, like Weishaupt or whatever? Weishaupt. I want to find like
his grave.
No, his like grand like daughter or like son or something. And we're like, what you know about this? You walk into his house, it's just a bunch of triangles everywhere.
Turns out he just really liked triangles.
Like, nah, bro, triangles with an eye. I didn't really mean anything of it.
He was like, one day I was just looking through one of my triangles, and then somebody took a picture of me.
And here it is now, running the world. It's on a dollar bill.
Meaning that they drew a picture. Dude. I have no idea. America chose a lot of really weird symbols for their money and other icons back in the day.
Because
it's on the dollar bill, it's a pyramid in 3D, and the last, like the topmost triangle prism
it's
of
floating
the pyramid
off of the pyramid
is that triangle with
the
eye.
Illuminati.
So it's like an evolution of the Illuminati, but like worse.
One thing, it was like Illuminati has a lot of like real and fictional groups of like, their actual like followers or whatever. And so I'm curious if like the people who came up with the dollar bill were part of like the Illuminati group before the Declaration of Independence was signed, and then they kind of just took on that belief and everything and moved on with it.
LOL, they were like, yo, we came up with that idea, we're not just gonna let it go to some losers who want to make a country. We're gonna keep our idea in here somehow.
What is the beliefs of the Illuminati though?
The what?
Beliefs.
The beliefs? I don't know. I think they're just like controlling people from all facets of the government, all facets of social structures and hierarchies, and
because like
they probably
is it just like anonymous?
Taxes. Yeah, if there is any truth to the Illuminati, it's probably just a group of really rich people who want to like feel cool, so they just do things in secret because they think it makes them feel cool.
That's wild.
That's the only thing I can think of.
Because we grew up like hearing about the Illuminati. All we heard was they were a secret organization.
Yeah, but then we also like kept hearing about all the people, which for a secret organization, they kept talking about their participants very publicly. Oh my gosh, that's a weird.
We'll get to that in a second.
Yeah. We'll get to this topic that we just saw on the phone in a second.
The term Illuminati refers to the Bavarian Illuminati, a secret society that operated for only a decade from 1776 to 1785.
Yeah, this is that real one you were talking about.
This organization was founded by Adam Weishaupt, whatever his name was, a German law professor who believed strongly in Enlightenment ideas, and his Illuminatorian what?
Illuminatorden.
Sure. Sought to promote those ideals among elites. You're right, among elites.
Illuminorden. Illuminatorden. What the hell?
Hold on, let's play it.
Yeah.
Illuminatorden.
What the heck?
I don't know what that is. Actually, I'm about to look it up.
Look it up.
That's the first time I heard that word before.
What a weird word. Maybe the Illuminati is the reason for all those weird words in the dictionary that just have no meaning, but they're just like unnecessarily complicated.
What? That's open and
It's
translate.
It's Italian.
I guess. What is the word? What does it mean?
Illuminati.
No entries found.
Dude,
Hold
that's
on.
kind of sus.
I'm trying to look up the definition, but on Apple, whatever, but it says it's not a word.
Okay. Well, besides that,
I'll come back to that later. But essentially, yeah, it's just a group amongst elites. Want to educate Illuminati members and reason, philanthropy, and other secular values so that they could influence political decisions when they come to power. So it's
Right.
just...
Which makes sense because
Yeah.
if you remember our U.S. history class, right around that time was when people were like, maybe we should use science. Maybe we should use logic.
Scientology.
And all of these people,
Um,
and all of these people were like, hey, why don't we use that? But to control
I
everyone.
guess, yeah, so it teaches people how to control. Makes sense.
I don't know. All I know is the Illuminati is not as scary as like the Babadook or like bad bedtime stories that I was told that kept me up at night.
Yeah, Illuminati's always like in the shadows. You'll never know about it. If you don't think about it, you don't think about
If
it.
you don't think about it, you
Everything
just
else-
never think about it.
Everything else we might like bring up, like...
All these other ones are like more. The Illuminati used to be a pop culture joke,
Yeah.
right? But now it's like gone out of the zeitgeist.
Yeah.
Arslan, if you're listening, I used the word again. But so
He's gonna text you when he hears this, be like, "Hey, bro, thanks,
yeah,
bro."
for sure. I hope he didn't sleep on this part. But yeah, so now it's not even like a thing that anybody really jokes about. Like, you remember the Illuminati music? Da-na-na-na-na-na? That was
Yeah.
like a meme. That meme's gone. It's part of the old wave of memes. So I
Yeah.
feel like they're riding a really nice, quiet time that they're getting right now.
When Vine died, that meme died.
Yes.
But
And
speaking
then-
of triangles,
Yes, another. I guess this is more like what's the word? A nest for multiple conspiracy theories.
yeah,
But the Bermuda Triangle.
that one's old as well.
Yeah, and not only is it old, but it's also like anchored in history again, right? Amelia Earhart. The whole bedtime story is that
Yeah.
she disappeared on her last voyage after she was flying over the Bermuda Triangle. And I was trying to scare one of my students with that story, and then I Googled it immediately after, and it's not true. It's just flat wrong.
Yeah, it says. Well, I mean, at least this one has like an actual location where like people say like there's some like weird weather thing going on or something. But it says it's in the region, the western part of the North Atlantic Ocean,
Yeah.
and so I guess they even have little coordinates.
Yeah. I remember the funniest thing is that, like, you know Godzilla
yeah,
and, like, the Kong movies?
yeah.
They explained Kong Skull Island by saying it was just in the Bermuda Triangle somewhere.
Did they?
Yeah, and that's why it's like full of monsters and stuff. And I thought that was so funny.
Okay, real quick, not to like hard right turn, but I was looking at Bermuda Triangle's coordinates and something called the Island of Dead Dolls. popped up.
Wow.
An island in Mexico City, Mexico. The Island of Dolls, located in the channels of, I don't know how to say all those words, very close to a stadium. It's right next to a football stadium. Okay. Attractions to channel. Why?
It's like the Suicide Forest. It's just creepy. So people want to go there.
It's a pretty relaxing place to be. It looks like can be deceiving.
Yo, LOL. I like to go on long walks on the with my significant other in the Dead Doll Forest.
No. Hear this one out. Very nice ghosts gave me tea and biscuits and some blood. Also a kidney to sell.
Huh.
Google reviews be tripping, bro.
Google reviews are hilarious, bro.
This has a 4 out of. This has a 4
It's
out
a
of 10.
location that has a 4 out of 5? That's so funny.
I'm so confused.
Okay, but back to the Illuminati.
Yeah. Okay. Back to Illuminati. No. Back to the Bermuda Triangle.
Or back to the Bermuda Triangle.
I've heard so many weird stories about the Bermuda Triangle. The one that actually clicks in my head at all times whenever someone brings it up was my aunt once told me that she believed this. She said that the reason all the planes and like ships and stuff like that never come out of the Bermuda Triangle is because, say like a plane is flying through it, the plane will go through the Bermuda Triangle, and then like the demons and the jinns and like the spiritual people come and take out the souls of the passengers and make them aliens.
Interesting.
Think about that real quick. Demons
That
come down,
is
take
probably true.
souls, turn them into aliens,
That's
and the
probably
plane just
true.
gets like dropped in the middle of the ocean.
Sounds right to me.
So how many people have went and disappeared in the Bermuda Triangle?
Not a lot.
Not a lot, but there's more than one.
There was something about the Malaysia 101 flight, whatever number plane flight that was, where they said something correlated to the Bermuda Triangle. Like they found some parts near
Sure.
They like calculated that the drift of this one piece went through the Bermuda Triangle, and they were like, oh.
But like, say it's just like one plane, right? One plane has how many people? Like 200 people, 300 people?
I don't know about that much, but yeah,
Sure, it's like at least 100 people.
a good amount.
Yeah. Wouldn't that mean there's like 100 like aliens floating around somewhere?
It would mean that there's a lot.
That mean there's
It
a
would
lot of
mean-
aliens just chilling somewhere.
It would mean that this conspiracy theory we'll talk about next will definitely have a good population of people.
Yeah, because where else do the aliens go after they're sucked out by the demons?
Nah, they probably would just go to like In-N-Out.
They'd be like, "Hey, I'm hungry. Let me go look like Mark Zuckerberg, and I'll go to go to In-N-Out."
Oh, the tie-ins.
Oh,
But yeah, I don't think there's too much to say about the Bermuda Triangle other than it's like a catalyst for other conspiracy theories, and all of them
Yeah,
are really
there's-
whack.
is weird monsters live there? What's that big monster that has like a really big? It's in Percy Jackson, the one that lives underwater that makes it.
The Hydra?
I guess one of the big teeth and like kind of sucks them in. And
Oh, I don't know. I don't know what
Never
you're
mind.
talking about.
Yeah, there's big monsters there. The world ends there. I don't know. There's a big opening to the core.
There,
Earth's
I've
core
seen like
there.
like it's the how you get underground, or
Yeah.
like when you go in, you time travel and you pop out in another dimension or another decade, and then that's where you just are.
Well, people had to like see something or like something happen to them in order to believe this
That's
stuff.
very true. I wonder what happened that started. Can you see if
Because there's always like
origin-
stories of like sea monsters, but people see just a really big like shark, right? So at least they
Yeah.
saw something. But what do you see whenever you go to the Bermuda Triangle? Origin of Bermuda Triangle. I didn't spell any of that correctly, but that's fine. They understand. Oh, there's just no solid. I have to read something.
Okay, well, let's skim it really fast.
Roughly between Miami, Bermuda, and Puerto Rico, where dozens of
No wonder Florida's weird. It's next to Miami.
What is the origin, though?
The legend.
Legend. The area referred to the Bermuda Triangle, or the Devil's Triangle, that's one, covers about 500,000 square miles of ocean off the southern tip
blah,
of
blah, blah,
California.
blah,
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 blah, blah. Hold on. Christopher Columbus sailed through the area on
Oh
his
my
first
God.
voyage
This
to the New
man,
World.
Christopher Columbus, starting more beef.
He reported that a great flame of fire, probably a meteor, had crashed into the sea one night, and that strange light appeared of the distance for a few weeks later. He also wrote about erratic compass readings,
Like crazy readings.
perhaps because at this time a silver of Bermuda Triangle was one of the few places of Earth where true magnetic north lined up. What?
Wow. So Christopher Columbus really out here telling tales and spilling tea, and he is the one that made the Bermuda Triangle pop off. You know, that's kind of funny because the transatlantic slave trade had, which is also a triangle, had a little bit of it that would have had to pass through the Bermuda Triangle to get to Havana or other places like that, right? So, I don't know. That's kind of weird how Christopher Columbus just really popped it all off from the beginning.
Vincent Gaddis coined the phrase Bermuda Triangle in 1964.
Huh.
So it took all the way up until 1964 for people to do that thing?
So I guess people just thought it was like a weird zone. And then in 1964, this dude was like, nah. It's more than just a weird zone. People also get taken there.
People can die there and become aliens, bro. The Jinns come out there.
What if it was like some weird like tourist trap kind of thing? Like he's trying to divert flights of people going through this area. So he was like, there's a mystical barrier in the way.
And he has people living there or whatever, like dressed up in like little clown suits and like demon suits.
Well, before we go to the next topic, you know, speaking of like people living on an island, you know, have you heard about that island of like people who never ever like evolved out of technology? So they're still like hunter-gatherers, and they're still like, you know, wearing clothes made of the leaves and everything.
It's like a number one most dangerous place because they'll eat you.
Yeah, because every time, not that they eat you, but they don't like foreign people.
Yeah.
So whenever you go, they'll like really get mad. There was a boat of people that tried to swim there and try to like talk to them, but they got so mad. They started throwing their crap at them and everything, so they had to leave.
Yeah.
And I think there was a story a long time ago of like a part of a plane that was like breaking down fell on there, and they didn't know what a plane was, right? But they pieced together the information from what they saw, and I think they started worshiping all of the planes or something like that because they thought that the plane was some sort of deity.
Can you imagine a plane flying over you and then out of nowhere just falls and you're like, what is this?
Yeah, human beings are whack, man. It really puts into perspective what real things in
Because
society
I've seen like
have.
pictures of stuff like of that island or whatever, and it's just a bunch of like people literally looking like Native Americans with like spears made out of like stick and like rock and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's actually where Moana was filmed.
Moana is literally that's all her people. She's actually one of the people who eat food. But yeah, no, I've heard like I've heard about those people, and I've always wanted to just go see, but I also don't want to die.
That island is something cool. I think it's like one of the last like pieces of like the old world, but not even like the old world. It's like the last pieces of like early humanity.
Yeah.
Right, untouched, just like decades and decades and decades.
There's a bunch of random islands that are just like uninhabitable or super super weird, dangerous. Like that one that's
Dead Baby Island.
Dead Baby Island. The one was just all snakes.
Oh my god, I hate that one. You know, there's another one where there's just cats.
What? Why?
There's a bunch of cats.
Why?
I don't know why.
How'd they get there?
I really want to go there because I love cats.
Bro, the cure to cancer. Have you ever watched like Life of Pi?
No. Oh yeah, dude, that movie was so good.
Where he like, spoiler alert, where he finds like that fruit. There's like a tooth in it or whatever.
Uh-huh.
On that weird island, bro. One of these islands, it's just gonna be like a fruit or like a vase. And it's just the cure to cancer, but it's in the middle of that island, and so none of us are gonna be able to get there.
We've been looking for decades.
It turns out it's on Snake Island.
It was on Snake Island, the one place no one smart wanted to go.
Or where like those people are protecting it.
Maybe. I mean, that would be a cool movie idea, bro.
Yeah.
Like these primitive people who you think nothing can be going on in their island.
They're immortal.
It turns out that they have like the gateway to another dimension just in there. They never go in it because they think it's illegal, so they just like worship it and then they just like throw crap
it's
in
like
there.
The Wonder Woman Amazonians. Yeah, they live on the island. They don't need any of this new
Wonder
mumbo
Woman
jumbo.
Just comes out of nowhere. What if they like throw stuff into this portal, and then on the other end is just some like alien or something? He's like, ha ha ha.
Dinner time.
They're just giving me free stuff. I'm getting free meals.
Maybe that's where all the aliens from the Bermuda Triangle go.
Maybe they made like an agreement with them a long time ago, and they were like, hey,
you feed us, we keep you alive.
We kind of just want to vibe here. My mom kicked me out of her place, so I need somewhere to crash.
My mom kicked me out, and she made me to fly to Australia, but I went to the Bermuda Triangle and now I'm here. Can I crash at you guys' place?
Yeah, my flight got canceled and then it kind of got diverted. Can I crash here?
But yeah, no, that's.
But yeah, I think that's really all you could say about the Bermuda Triangle.
Yeah, that's true.
I guess next is flat Earth theory.
Earth in general has so many weird conspiracy theories. Like we were talking about like at least 3 before we started the episode.
This goes hand in hand with the faking of the moon landing, which we'll talk about in a minute. But as the theory goes, the Earth is actually flat, and there is a certain point that if you like go to the edge, you'll fall off. But then more modern flat earthers have corrected that theory in saying that if you get to the edge because of gravity, right, it'll still stick you to the side. So like imagine if there's like an ocean, right, and then on the lip of the Earth when it starts curving down, right, like a dish, like it goes down. The gravity will keep you there. You'll still feel like you're normal and everything, and it'll still look fine. But you're traveling on the side of the Earth, and then again, when you get to the bottom, you'll be traveling upside down, which is crazy because they're like adapting a normal concept in science about the fact that when you're on the bottom of the Earth, it's not like you're necessarily upside down. Technically, you are, but like you feel like you're right side up, right? And then they adapted that to saying that, oh yeah, it's the same with flat Earth.
So does that mean like the Earth as we know it is like cut in half, or is it all of Earth's land on top and just water on the bottom?
It's not cut in half Imagine the
like North America on like top side and like Africa and whatever on the bottom side. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
the globe's cut in half.
It's like you take a JPEG and you stretch it around a soda can.
Yeah.
That's basically what they're saying. That the Earth is like a compressed soda can.
Yeah.
And then
I gotta go fly to Africa. Let me just go to the other side.
Like a short stubby cylinder.
Yeah.
Which I mean, hey, that would be really cool if it was. That B word Christopher Columbus also thought that the Earth was flat. So
everyone thought the Earth was flat.
Yeah, I mean,
but that makes sense because they're using maps instead of globes.
Yeah, I understand, especially like pre-Renaissance.
Yeah. That
people thought the Earth was flat. The Renaissance was actually very integral to people understanding the concept of third dimensions, right?
Yeah.
The depth, right? So in cartography, I wouldn't imagine that they could translate a 3D object into something 2D like a piece of paper, right? But yeah, Christopher Columbus was just like, I think the Earth is flat. And I also think it's a lot smaller than we think it is. And on the way to India, quote unquote, they did not pack enough food or water. right? They just got lucky that they landed in the North American continent.
Are you starting your own conspiracy theory right now?
No, that's history. That's history. That's just straight facts.
Quote unquote.
But yeah, I think flat Earth would be really cool though if that was real.
Earth also has like the whole like what's what I'm looking for? Hollow Earth theory.
Back to Godzilla.
The Hollow Earth theory.
Well, okay, first say yours because I'll say like the big Hollow Earth theory, but yours is really, really
the
funny.
one that I heard a couple years ago was that on a top of like where the North Pole is, there's just like a really big hollow entrance, I guess, and Vikings and all the Nazis lived there.
Viking Nazis.
They're both mad people.
You
They live there together.
Get the guess.
And so Hitler's still alive.
There's also a conspiracy that Hitler's still alive, but the other flat Earth theory, or like shell Earth, or I mean, the other hollow Earth / shell Earth theory is that the Earth does not have a core per se. It's not dense. It's actually like it's a series of shells, and then like the innermost shell is where like the dinosaurs are from, and like where all these other things that we thought were extinct are still chilling. And Godzilla, right, and that whole movie franchise, they really ran with that, and they explained the kaijus coming from the underside of the Earth, and then it was kind of cool actually. The way they did it in the movie, I kind of like those movies a lot. But
did you watch Pacific Rim?
No.
The one where they fight the kaijus?
But that one was also a really good movie. Yeah, no, you're right. Pacific Rim. They fought the huge monsters in their robot suits.
Yeah. So for them, I don't know if it's from the core or not, but essentially it's like the kind of like a Hollow Earth thing. But when they went to go destroy the port or whatever, it was more of a I don't want to say like teleporting, but essentially just like an open to a different dimension.
Gateway?
Yeah, it's a gateway to another dimension. They didn't call it Hollow Earth. They called it a gateway to another dimension. And so it's I don't know, because they also, the word kaiju, every time I hear it I think of Pacific Rim.
Really? I think of Godzilla.
I was thinking, because I watched Pacific Rim first before I watched Godzilla, and so I was thinking that, but I don't know, it's weird. So I guess there's a portal to another Earth or dimension.
I mean, that would be really cool though. Like if we could just pull out the dinosaurs again, it would be like, hey yo, we know you guys got extinct once, but
okay, no, real quick. Speaking of that,
what if we do that again?
Speaking of that, we've all seen Jurassic Park, Jurassic World, and all that mumbo jumbo.
Yeah.
There's literally people, scientists, trying to recreate dinosaurs. Why? Did we not learn from a movie?
That is not a good idea.
Did we not learn from the 7 movies on the world and all the other ones?
Dinosaurs just aren't a good idea.
Like, humans and dinosaurs cannot work together unless they only eat plants.
I mean, most dinosaurs, because of their genetic makeup, right, their brains don't have, like, the part to emotionally comprehend things.
Yeah.
So no matter how hard you try, like, you're not going to be able to domesticate one. Or
if you can't domesticate a crocodile or an alligator, what you going to do with a T-Rex?
Well, firstly, what they're trying to do is get the mammoths back. So they're trying to use
That's not a dinosaur.
DNA. Well, it's still prehistoric.
What's considered dinosaur then? I thought dinosaurs are just like the reptile.
I mean, dinosaur is like a broad definition. It's just those reptiles, or I guess the classification is birds. If you get technical,
because they have feathers or something.
Because they have feathers and stuff. But
which
there was
is
some sort of
new thing
reptile bird hybrid. Well, back then the line between bird and reptile was very thin, because evolution was just weird. But so I guess they were like birdish things, and they're like their own class. But I think the mammoths is a really weird idea, because mammoths aren't necessarily, they're mammals, so they're emotionally comprehensive, but they're not gonna. What does it add? What does it add to the world to bring back a really hairy?
And where are you going to put them? Aren't they gigantic?
Yeah, are you just going to dump all of them in Antarctica?
They're bigger than elephants. Like, where are you going to put them?
Yeah, I think somebody watched Ice Age when they were a kid, and they were like, "Dude, I really want Manny to be real." So then they were like, "Yo, give me all the money you've got, and I'll bring Ice Age to the real life." Which, by the way, we might go into an Ice Age LOL.
After what happened to Texas like last time?
Well, not just that, but just the way climate change is going. We're either going to burn really fast or we're going to freeze really fast.
Yeah.
But I guess another conspiracy theory. Okay.
Oh, this one. Okay.
COVID-19 might have been manufactured in a lab. All right. So anyway, next one we're talking about. We're going to talk about astrology, which I think is absolutely hilarious. Or not astrology per se, because that's like its own belief system. More Scientology. My man Tom Cruise and a bunch of other old celebrities that don't make any sense. Very close to the Illuminati.
Yeah, I guess.
As far as like they're like a group.
Okay,
It's an ideology and a group.
explain Scientology to me real quick because I do not remember.
Scientology is like a variation of astrology where you like use stars and other things like that to explain certain phenomena, and then there's other like science-esque based concepts that they use to dictate their lives. But the big thing about the Church of Scientology, which they call it the Church of Scientology,
Of course they do.
is that when you leave or when you join, you can't leave. So like the thing that no one talks about, but like the conspiracy behind it is that when you enter the Church of Scientology, they like keep tabs on your family and you. They get blackmail on you. So then whenever you decide to leave, they're like,
We saw that little Johnny went to church the other day. What's going on there, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, he went with a friend. Really? Ah.
We saw you say
Which
that
friend was this?
Linda has a
Frederick
big
or
butt.
John?
I wonder what your wife would think about you saying Linda has a big butt.
Oh, huh? What you do? You trying to leave?
So, like, Scientologists themselves are, like, kind of wacky. But
What does Ted Cruz have to do with, like, Scientology? What did he
not
see?
Ted Cruz.
Not Ted Cruz, sorry. Tom
Different
Cruise.
Cruz, but
Different
yeah.
Cruzy.
Tom, I don't know.
What did he see? He was like,
He and
science.
his wife are both just really, really avid Scientologists. But they're not public. They don't talk about it a lot, right?
They don't, but
Because
people figured out they do.
they get
They are a
laughed
part of it.
off their stages if they did. But
Because I would never think, like, Tom Cruise, Scientology.
you wouldn't think any of the people who are in it. And there's a surprising number of celebrities in it, right?
Oh, yeah, there's a lot.
Which makes you think, why is it just celebrities? Like, what do you need to have, like, an action movie to be able to get into one of these things? Like,
You have
what's
to
going
break the
on?
law of physics in order to become part of Scientology. And,
yeah.
Tom Cruise, flies his own helicopter and then puts it in autopilot and, like, hangs out of a rope and then, like, fights the bad guys. Bro, he does all that.
He jumped off that building and broke his toe, but then
But he got back
kept
up
filming
and
the
just
movie.
kept going.
Yeah, breaking all the laws of physics.
Yeah, you got to be different. I don't know. It's so weird, though.
Yeah, Scientology is kind of just like a whisper of a theory. It's more like you hear about it and you're like, yeah, that's weird, and you just move on.
You said astrology earlier when you were saying believing in stars, stuff like that. Would we consider? I guess what's the word I'm looking for? Is like horoscopes and all that
Yes.
stuff considered Scientology?
Yes, not Scientology, astrology.
So
Yeah.
then
Horoscopes.
the
are
belief in
based-
horoscopes, the belief in your life, whatever control your life. What is that considered then?
I forget, but it's basically astrology because astrology is using the stars. The stars do Gemini, Taurus, all that stuff. Taurus, Gemini, all that stuff. That is in the horoscopes, and all of it's the same. There's like an Asian equivalent of all this stuff as well. Like when you go to certain Chinese restaurants or Indonesian restaurants, you'll see like on the mat they give you, it'll say like this month you were the tiger. This month you were like a
I'm
swan.
year of the snake.
Yeah, I'm
Heck yeah.
I'm year of the dragon, I think.
What are you 202?
Yeah,
2002.
But I'm February.
I have no clue, but I was year of the snake, and my mom's year of the I think like mouse or like rat or whatever. And I was like, ha, I'm the bigger dog.
But yeah, so that's like astrology is like not necessarily like inherently pretty bad, but it's just like I can't.
The belief in astrology and that a Gemini makes you or whatever is kind of wild to me.
Well, there's compatibilities for everything, right? Sexual, social, marital, like all sorts of compatibility, and then there's also like it's not forced. It's very peaceful, right? But it says like this is how you can live your life to maximize certain things.
Yeah.
Like because you are a Taurus, and you should know that you excel in these certain categories and not in these. I guess one could say that like the personality tests that we take are very similar to astrology things, except astrology things are based on like the stars.
Yeah.
And like trends versus the personality stuff is based on science and trends. So one of them is just like inherently a little bit more
When did you
concrete.
When did you first start hearing about like a moon rising and sun rising?
Immediately. Not only is it a very Islamic thing, but also a very Asian thing in general.
I haven't heard about sun rising and moon rising until at least a year ago.
Well, I guess this is
They're like, oh, Ibrahim, you're a Sagittarius, so that means your sun moon rising something with the flash of the tidal wave due to the. I'm like, what?
there. I guess so. In the other podcast, we've talked about like a concept called nazar, which is basically like
Jinxing.
your fortune, right? Yeah, you're jinxing. And one thing that I think more like Desi Muslims, right, more
Yeah.
Asian Muslims believe is a lot of stuff like that. So, for example, my mom was told by all of the other moms when she got pregnant, don't go outside during a full moon while you're pregnant. So I never went outside during a full moon. Or rather, no. What they said was, stay at home, but let the light of the full moon shine on you, so that your baby will have big eyes. Big,
And now here you
beautiful
are.
eyes. And I have huge eyes. But that was one thing that my mom would tell me. And a lot of other stuff. They also, astrologists have like connections with like rocks.
Okay. Isn't crystals, believing like crystals is a thing?
And there's also like a certain part where, like, do you remember our one substitute teacher, how she had like scents? There's also stuff with like scents.
Who?
I mean, we can't really talk about it on air, but you know, I'll tell you later.
Substitute teacher?
Yeah, one of our female substitute teachers.
The one that stuck with us for like 9 months?
Maybe. Not
Freshman year?
No, not that one.
Never mind. I don't know who that.
But yeah, so they have like smelling salts, and they also have like crystals, and they basically say you rub this crystal on you during the day, and you'll have more confidence. Or like, you know, this is not necessarily astrology as it is like a super branch of superstitions.
Yeah, because I was gonna ask, like, what does that stuff fall under? Like that, I think also like reading your palm and all that stuff. Like, isn't all like superstition, conspiracy theory, weird?
I mean, there's
mumbo
probably
jumbo?
more ways to break it down, like how people read futures and things like that.
Yeah.
And you know, look at tea leaves.
A medium.
We were talking about on coffee
The
day.
coffee, yeah.
But yeah, like for an ignorant person on the outside, we just consider that superstition. One thing that my anthropology teacher really hated was the word superstition, because he said like every culture has this like respective tradition, right?
Mm-hmm.
And to call it superstition is kind of like negating its validity, right? Not necessarily its truthfulness, but the validity of the act. So that stuck with me. So that's why I think, like, you know, I mean, if you believe in all that stuff, go ahead. But that's not really my swing.
Yeah, I guess that's true. It's just, I think, I don't know what, maybe it's because I started like seeing it more often or whatever, or I fully understand it, but I started seeing these things a lot more. I started hearing about it as well, like, oh my god, horoscopes, astrology, all my thing. Like, it's all TikTok nowadays. Oh my god, you're Sagittarius, dude. Do not do this, and this, and this. And I'm like, okay, why is a sudden rise?
There's a surprising amount of astrology on TikTok. I have noticed,
but it's not just like TikTok. I'm talking about like in general. There was a sudden rise that came out of like horoscopes and all this.
I don't know. COVID might have made people. Made people like go something. Crazy. People saw the stars every day, so maybe. But yeah, I don't know.
The next conspiracy is the next one conspiracy theory technically.
Yes, in a very slight way. So, basically, the Zodiac Killer. I'll just say the Zodiac Killer. Guy.
They found the new. They found the person.
No.
No, they did recently. I think like 2 weeks ago. They finalized that who it was.
No way.
Yeah, I'm gonna pull up the article right now. But I remember hearing it.
In the meantime, the Zodiac Killer, along with astrology, very conveniently, right, was like basically the culmination of a guy who would strike people at certain astrological signs and times and during the month and things like that, and then he just disappeared. Most of you probably already know him, but we're really trying to focus less on the actual conspiracy of the murders and more on the fact that everybody thought it was Ted Cruz. This is mostly purely because of the photo that the police renditioned of what a witness described the Zodiac Killer as looking like, and it looked surprisingly like a young Ted Cruz, so everybody just connected the dots to him. And I remember that just being the biggest meme in high school, middle school, just like, yeah, you're gonna get got by Ted Cruz, the Zodiac Killer. So that's just another tiny conspiracy theory.
Here it is. It was a month ago, October 7th. I think they figured it all out. They said that where's the person?
Arthur Leigh Allen?
No, that was a person that was already suspected. What found? Zodiac Killer found. I'm mad now because I remember I was seeing it a couple days ago, and it was like, yeah, we finally found who it was, but the guy's already dead. And I'm like, what?
That's so funny. I love that. I love it when people get away with crimes, and then you figure it out when they're already gone.
Yeah.
like Michael Jackson.
What? But yeah, no, I just remember they talked about it. I'm trying to figure out who it was. Wow, this has no names in it except for the people that died. Dang, that just makes me sad.
Nah, it's okay. People probably know what we're talking about.
Yeah, 100%. But everyone's like, hey, Ted Cruz is it now. And so I think the last campaign, during when Trump was running the first time, it was like, you really going to vote for the Zodiac Killer? And something like that. And I was like, wow, this is what people are saying nowadays. Nice. That's the fight. Yeah, bro, everyone in the past couple month was writing about it. How did I forget the name? Was it Alan?
I mean, if it's that published, then shouldn't you be able to find the name that quickly, right?
I feel like I should. The Guardian was talking about it. 2021. I'll just put 2021.
Nah, it's fine. We'll be able to figure it out.
Now it's pissing me off. Gary Francis. That's what it was.
What the heck? That's a weird name, bro.
At least.
So
Identified. Zodiac Killer identified as Gary Francis Post.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, now you know. Don't trust Gary.
But he's dead, so.
LOL.
Supposedly he killed a bunch of people back then, but they never found anyone else. But as soon as they found who it was, they found more
murders?
Deaths or something.
Oh my god.
They connected more like murders, and everyone was like, huh?
Just wait till the next Netflix documentary about it comes out.
Yeah, honestly, they're gonna remake the other one with Jake Gyllenhaal, and
that was so good though.
That was a weird one. But yeah, no, that's Ted Cruz.
Mm-hmm.
He finally covered up his himself.
Yeah, he found
are they gonna continue the joke?
Alibi.
Are they gonna continue the joke with him?
I don't think you can.
Because
he also joked about it because like he wasn't gonna like get mad about it, but
yeah, you can't get mad and be like, stop calling me the Zodiac Killer. What is he gonna do? Like
I mean, it only makes you look more like a killer.
Yeah, I plead the fifth. But yeah, that one, and then another really big one that a lot of people talk about for conspiracy theories: Bigfoot. Yeah, Bigfoot is.
I watched like a thing from what's his name? All Gas No Breaks.
Yeah,
he's on a new YouTube channel right now. But when he was still on that one, I watched like a thing where he was like walking with Bigfoot hunters, and they had like all this nice technical equipment, and they had all this like really rationalized ways of finding Bigfoot. It was weird how intensely like they were going about it.
Bro, Bigfoot sightings are some of the funniest sightings on Earth because we have amazing iPhones, amazing cameras, all that mumbo jumbo. But anytime there's a Bigfoot sighting, it's like some Android 1978 phone taking the recording or picture.
That's the meme. Like, especially around Halloween time, a lot of these YouTube channels come out with these super real, scary stories that people tell, right? And they're always having video, and the video is always like 480p, right?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you're right. In the modern age, with people who have definitely a lot more access to technology, you'd expect at least like a higher than an iPod Touch.
Yeah, or like a laptop recording it.
All of the Bigfoot findings are always pretty like, what's the word? Ubiquitous.
Sure. Question mark.
Like, not really discernible what's going on.
Yeah.
Like it could have just been.
He's just walking by.
Bush. It could have been another person, a shadow. The Corridor Crew has a like series where they like look at like video stuff and they try to debunk it, and they looked at some ghost videos and they looked at some other stuff before, and I really hope they go to Bigfoot because Bigfoot is like a lot on camera, and they could break down all that stuff, but it's definitely not real.
There was a video I remember it just popped up in my head of like a guy, like a biker, just like biking in the forest or whatever, and then it pauses and they go, "Did you see it?" I'm like, see what? And so like they go through the slow motion of it
when they do that,
and I'm looking and I'm like, what am I looking for? And then they circle it after like they go through it again, and it's literally like a small shadow, like that guy passes like I guess like a figure of some sort. I'm like, that's literally just a tree.
The worst ones that get me, especially if you're like wearing night vision or something and all the colors look the same, is when like some guy's head was in a bush, and when they rewind it, like you see the head and you're like, oh wow, that was scary. That was not there originally. But
it's always like they catch him doing some of the random stuff on Earth. He's sitting down. He's pooping. He's walking across the river.
Well, I mean,
I guess that makes sense that what he does, but it's like
the theory extends to not Bigfoot is supposed to be like one of the most famous, but it's Sasquatches in general. Like people really want to just find a species of Sasquatch, which is one explanation for why there's so many in so many different parts of the world. it's because Sasquatch was like some ancient human species, some monkey evolution that, you know, it's still pretty primitive, but they like, you know, are large and they like run around.
Supposedly they found like a gigantic, I'm talking about like bigger than Bigfoot, like human, because they saw like a human skull underground. I think like somewhere like in the Middle East somewhere, and they're like, "Oh my god, the Titans are rising," and I'm like, "Oh my god, not this again."
The Titans, ooh.
And so it's those, what that one and what's the one underwater? I completely forgot the names of
Kraken.
No, the one like found like rivers and like.
Oh no, Silky.
So,
It's called Silky, but it has another. The name of the animal is something else, but the name of this thing, like Bigfoot, is called Silky.
Sure, but I'm talking about like the name of it, the Indomitable Snowman. No,
That's an actual.
That's an actual
snowman,
thing
bro.
though. But what's the word I'm looking for?
Loch Ness Monster.
Loch Ness Monster. There it is.
Yeah.
The Loch Ness Monster.
Ben 10 reminded me because they had that one episode with the Loch Ness Monster.
The Loch Ness Monster and all those like weird like underwater like monsters and I guess giant octopus and squids and stuff like that. For the ones for like deep ocean, maybe there's gigantic animals. We'll never actually know. Megalodon,
The deep
all that
ocean
stuff,
ones only make sense. They're the only ones that make sense.
that could possibly make
yeah,
sense.
plausibly. Like some of the squid, there are there's giant squid.
Yeah.
There are they like eat sperm whales sometimes.
Yeah.
Or, like they attack sperm whales.
I would completely like if someone came and told me they're real, I'd be like, I probably believe that because what is it? Only like 5% of the ocean has been like discovered or something like that. A very small amount.
I think it was something like 75% of the ocean.
Nah, bro, cap.
Is still undiscovered.
Oh, undiscovered is what's
undiscovered.
Yeah.
But there is a statistic everyone says that's definitely not it. But it's
a very small percent that's actually discovered. And so if someone comes up to me like, yeah, Megalodon's real and Kraken lives down there, cool, I believe you now. But certain things,
sign me up, Dabsimo.
Like
sign me up.
The Loch Ness Monster and like rivers and lakes and stuff like that. Sometimes I'm like,
bro, straight up, really? I see it though, bro. Because
I can see it.
No, because the whole thing comes from like people seeing a stick in the water and then it looking like the head.
That's exactly where I'm going.
I have straight up, like when we went to the lake one time, I straight up saw like a stick in the water and I was like, huh?
That's where I'm. Yeah, that's where I'm going with like my idea. There's been a lot of times where people are just like, what you saw isn't like a monster. It's just a really big like fish, for example. But it's like you saw something else and you're making it come up with something else. Like the first recording of like Megalodon, it was just like a really big great white shark.
Well, actually, now we have like archaeological or Paleolithic.
Yeah, but I'm talking about like back then before all that.
For dinosaurs, we have like bones and stuff and like proof that
I'm talking about like just like the written stuff where the guy saw a big man-eating shark that came out and killed half his crewmates. There's no scientific like explanation until they actually started looking for it and finding things. Everyone else was just like, yeah, I saw it. What'd you see? Megalodon. Are you sure? I think so. It was a gigantic fish.
I saw a big thing. And
it might have been sharks. A salmon, but I don't know, bro.
Yeah, we hate sharks. I saw a big thing.
Yeah.
So I guess it was a big shark.
I think it's like the same thing as like Bigfoot. Like they just saw a really big bear or something. I don't know what like.
Dude, that original picture of Bigfoot that like he's like running or something and it's blurry.
Yeah.
I wonder how they took that photo, bro. Because I don't necessarily think it was a bear. It looks pretty humanoid. Like the picture looks pretty convincing. I just can't believe that one picture got like a bunch of people on board like a religion.
Yeah.
To like go find some weird monkey.
And now people for like YouTube content, they just dress up as Bigfoot or like a big like gorilla and just walk around and take pictures. Yeah. And really bad like definition or like it's just hilarious. They can't fake that for like underwater things.
Do you remember that SpongeBob episode where like Patrick like unzips his head and then a monkey comes out and then he unzips the monkey and then hits like him again because he's trying to scare SpongeBob or something?
No. It's
so funny, dude. But that scene when I was a kid was really freaky. I'll show you later. It's really funny. You guys, if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about.
Maybe that's it. Maybe it's just like a guy like sitting in a big gorilla costume.
Well, something else that might be a really large overestimation is the moon landing. That is one of the most it's like one of the Hall of Fame conspiracies as far as like what we actually think. People say they built sets of the actual moon. People think that they didn't really go into all orbit. People think that there was like a part of the broadcast where they cut out.
Mm-hmm.
And then like aliens or something did so. I don't know. Like there's a lot of different
aliens come back as the humans.
There's like another thing where it's like, why do we go there so little, right? Why haven't we colonized it already? Oh, all this stuff.
Or the Neil Armstrong's boot didn't match the footprint on the moon.
Oh man,
Remember that one?
If only.
There was like his boot was like just straight, like just no like bumps or anything on it. But the picture has like a footprint or whatever with like weird little design on his shoes.
Hey man, listen, that sounds pretty legit to me.
I don't know, bro. I think the CIA just puts a big projector in their headquarters and it makes the moon, and so they fake the moon landing.
I think
because in the background of the moon there was the moon.
I think there was also something that they were saying like the rover failed during the mission and they had to come back, but they didn't want to make it look like they didn't go, so they used their backup filmed footage to try to make it look like we actually went to the moon.
Film footage?
So they filmed them going to the moon. In the case that they didn't, they could just play this on the TV and people would still think that they got to the moon.
Just so they can flex on like the Russians that they were in like space war with.
Well, unfortunately, the Russians did get there before us, so we
But
definitely
they didn't land
lost.
on the moon. Then they just orbited it and then came back.
I don't actually know. I think
they orbited it and came back.
Okay, well then I guess we were the first ones to plant a flag on the moon.
What is that flag doing now? Is it just chilling?
Yeah, it's just chilling. And because there's not that much wind on the moon, it's just there.
It's just hard.
Yeah, it's just flaccid actually.
Flaccid?
It's quite limp.
But if you like pull it,
No, there's no wind. There's no wind to blow it out. So
I know. I'm saying
just
if you
droopy.
pull the flag and like let it go, and so it's like a straight flag, and then like you let go, is it still gonna be straight?
Yeah, it would droop.
Really?
Yeah, because there's no wind.
Ah, interesting. Okay, but speaking of space, because space is weird. UFOs, aliens,
Yeah. So
other lifestyles.
Corridor Crew also did a video on the UFOs thing, so I have like proof. But I will say some of these videos do seem convincing, but they're still pretty weird. The whole belief is basically like there are certain events, like I forget, there was some California. They said there was an invasion of California because there were like lights that were popping in the sky. People thought there were aliens. Something similar happened in Russia. People all the time report that there's like a fast moving object on the sea or in the sky. And then the worst thing is that the military, the government, released photos of UFOs, and everybody was like, "Yep, the government said it. It has to be real."
Area 51 is real. It has aliens.
Yep.
Solid.
Yep. Which I guess Area 51 is like its own thing.
Yeah.
Its own really big conspiracy. I wish it was true.
Real quick, the picture
so cool.
for the Russia one?
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever seen the picture of it?
No.
It's just like a really big, like bright light coming down and like lit up the night or whatever. That same picture later on figured out it's literally just an asteroid. And so when I was doing my my presentation junior year about like asteroids and stuff like that, I literally used that picture.
Oh my god.
In my presentation, I was like, this one. You all know this one. This is actually an asteroid, by the way. You are dumb.
Well, yeah, sometimes there are just like meteor showers. Because
like, that's what UFO is.
That breaks up in the atmosphere.
Unidentified foreign object. It's not a saying.
Object.
Or what's it foreign?
Flying.
Flying or foreign?
Well, the conspiracy definition is flying.
Yeah, okay.
It could
conspiracy,
be foreign.
UFO, what's it called?
But the insinuation is typically that there's something piloting a device rather than it being a falling object. Like it's something that is harboring some sort of aliens in it.
What's the word I'm looking for? UFO
Acronym.
NYM. Or it doesn't say anything. Unidentified flying object.
Yeah.
Sure. But I'm just like, come on now, guys. It's the same thing for Bigfoot. They always have horrible
really
cameras
bad pictures.
Recording the thing.
And there's actually a lot because of the nature of like how fast UFOs are, they're in the sky, etc. The nature makes it so that the video is actually very, very inaccurate. We assume that cameras work the same way our eyeballs do, but there's a lot of stuff that happens inside the lens of a camera, inside the way a picture's taken, that doesn't happen with your eye. That when you look through a camera, obviously it'll look like something. I remember seeing like there was this video of like some ghost or something. They were saying that there was like dust behind this guy, but then they later just found out that the camera was picking up something else in the frame, and because of the shutter speed and because it was low at night, it was the image of the guy walking down, but an instant before, and since it was low light, the shutter couldn't pick up all the information, so it was like a weird lighter version of the guy which looked like a ghost, and everybody thought it was a ghost so hard.
But yeah, that's that little mistake from the camera. Suddenly ghosts are real.
Yeah,
we're gonna have another episode where we talk about ghosts. I kind of want to talk about like ghosts and like supernaturals.
A lot of yeah, we should. A lot of like the doomsday movies and like dystopias, they always have like some element of some really sad, desperate people get tricked into following a religion based on some stupid small lie or something weird.
Hey, bro, you see that little like speck on my camera picture? Yeah, that's a demon.
Like I'm playing this video game called Metro Exodus, right? And it's basically like after all the nukes fell, there was like war or whatever, and then all these guys like they leave town and they go to this neighboring place in Moscow, like a little village on the south, and there's like a lake there with like a mutated catfish, but the people there got tricked by one pastor, to believe that the catfish was like sent from God, and that they all should not use technology because technology was from the old world and it was evil, and they call it the czar fish and they worship the czar fish.
How much LSD do people have to do in order to start believing or seeing and believing this stuff?
Sometimes it just takes someone who's desperate and it'll happen.
Maybe.
Not really for religions, but unfortunately there are situations, right, where people are hypnotized into believing a lot of stuff that they really don't want to, or stuff that externally the world would say is wrong or not right, or XYZ.
But before we go on to the next one, I'd ask you, do you think, in your personal opinion, if anyone comes and cancels Assad, I'm going to have to fight you?
Please.
Because this is his opinion, all right?
Yes,
I'm looking at you, Tristan. Do you think, how do I state this correctly, that humans on this earth are the only living species in the universe?
That is a podcast episode.
Ah.
But short, sweet answer, I think there has to be life out there.
Short, sweet answer. Keep it at that.
It's just, I know how big the universe is, and I know the probability of life and the factors that you need to make life, and I know that that's not very popular in the universe either. So it makes sense why we haven't seen anybody. But there's also this theory of something called the Great Filter. We'll talk about this in a whole other episode.
Maybe.
But yeah, what about you?
Yes.
Yes?
Short, sweet.
Yeah, short and
Are
sweet.
we alive? Are we the only ones alive?
Are we the only
No.
ones? Probably.
Are we the only ones alive in this universe? No.
This is also something I guess we'll talk about in that episode. But Neil deGrasse Tyson talked about this too. But I had this idea before him. Okay, which is basically like, every idea of an alien we've ever had has some relative anchor to something on Earth. It looks like something on Earth, or something we've imagined, something humanoid, or something animal-like, but we don't actually know because everything evolved on Earth because of the conditions of Earth, and there might be it's one of those things like you can't conceptually imagine it because there's nothing you've ever experienced in your life that could give you the information to even assume.
Like a new color.
Right? It's the same thing. So you can't, there's no way to imagine it, right? Like that movie, what's it called? I'm forgetting the movie name, but it was like, the alien started out as like a little small cellular organism. Right? Or like a little small thing on a petri dish, and then it grew and grew and grew, and that was like the most creative thing that I've seen of an alien. Right? It's just like a cell, right? Because technically, it could just be a cell. It could just be an animal cell or some sort of cell.
I think whenever people think of like aliens, they think of the big green walking man with like black eyes.
Yeah,
but they never actually know what it is.
The definition's quite stretched. Well, okay, so then coming to our last few points. Another really, really big
Which
one.
kind of connect.
I think this theory kind of started before we were born a little bit. This is an older theory, I think.
Maybe.
But this one is the lizard people. The ones that run the government, the ones that are in all of the celebrity and high status positions, and the ones that are controlling society. This one is kind of like, again, I mean, okay, if they're lizard people, then like...
Okay.
They're doing their job. I guess I'm chilling. Maybe they should work on like fixing world hunger pretty fast because like that's a problem.
There's a video I saw of Hillary Clinton on Instagram. I think I saw it. But like I think during what was it? Some sort of like presidential debate or something. The video is so horribly photoshopped and like edited. I laughed, but essentially it was just the way she blinks. We blink up down. But right before she blinks, she's about to like fully close her eyelids. There's a left-right.
Like the lizard,
like an actual lizard thingy. Before she blinks, and everyone's like, "She's a lizard. Lizard people."
That's so funny.
I'm like, really, guys? I can literally see where it paused and edited.
Maybe that would make Hillary Clinton cool.
Would it make her cool, or would
Just
she
chilling
be
out here in Cedar Rapids. That's the end of the video that we never heard.
Yeah, it's cut.
Yeah, that's the lizard part that they just
I'm
cut
picturing
out.
of like the Amazing Spider-Man lizard people.
I mean, that's exactly what like the one weird thing about this theory is that the lizards are like low key and they're like kind of doing a good job and a bad job. So like they're not necessarily like evil. They're just like clandestine or like above us all. Which
What are you telling me? No one saw a lizard person?
no, I don't know about that. But
Then how do they know it's a thing?
because they're guessing, right, that like some sort of alien. I guess it's like an offshoot of the alien theory because aliens and lizards are kind of.
So that means I can guess that fish can walk on air and it can become a thing like lizard people.
I mean, hey man, you can in the metaverse.
If I can get enough points on Reddit, I can get it, bro.
I guess speaking of the metaverse, Mark
Speaking
Zuckerberg,
of lizard people,
is he a robot? Is he a lizard man? Is he both? We won't know.
can you imagine being half lizard, half human, half a third lizard, third human, third
The
robot?
That'd be so funny, dude.
AKA Mark Zuckerberg.
He is the alpha human. He's all of them at once. I think it's really funny too because if any of y'all have seen the Meta press conference thing, like their trailer, he made a joke about it. Right? He was like, his friend was dressed as a robot, and he walked in. He was like, "Hey, I thought I was supposed to be the robot," which that's exactly what a robot would say, wouldn't it?
I guess, yeah.
Every single social interaction this man has ever had, including everything in this trailer, was just absolutely horrendous.
Do you remember the barbecue sauce in the background? Bro, that barbecue sauce, I think, has its own Twitter page now.
Yeah. Well, do you remember that like video? I think during the presidential election
Of the
debates,
fly?
the fly on that guy's head.
The fly
on
has its
Pence's
own
head?
thing,
Oh
yeah.
my god, that was so funny.
It literally, I was watching it, and it literally grew like 2 million followers within like an hour.
Yeah.
It was the funniest thing on earth. What's it called?
Well, anyway, y'all, I think that's all the things we had about conspiracy theories. There's a lot. We didn't really want to bash on them. I think we might have a little, but I apologize if I hurt anyone's feelings. Those are just my personal beliefs and Ibrahim's personal beliefs, and we are not financial advisors or lawyers.
Financial advisors. This is not a stock you buy.
But yeah, I think we got a dip, so we will catch you guys in the next episode.
Catch you guys on a plane in the Bermuda Triangle.
Yeah.
We got the gin.
I want to do another episode with all those other conspiracy theories like DB Cooper and those murder mysteries and things, because those, if we do more research, it'll actually be more compelling.
You want to do one of just murder mysteries?
That'd be so cool.
Where we can kind of like try to solve it in our
That'd be
heads.
so cool.
We'll give out like the whole like layout. Like Johnny died. His sister saw him beforehand. His mother
Like
didn't see him.
Knives
before.
Out, but like red.
Yeah, and we just kind of sit there. We're like,
Oh,
we'll
that'd be
get
so
like
sick.
3 topics. We'll sit there like, okay, who killed who first?
Oh, okay, that'd be cool. Anyway.
Anyway. Thank
Bye,
y'all
y'all.
for listening. I hope you had a weird interaction.
I hope that
Weird interaction. I'm going with that. I'm
I
sticking
hope that
with
you also had a weird interaction to make your day a little bit more spicy.
it. Ted Cruz. That's, yeah.
Don't
That's another-
DM us, bro. All right, bye.
Bye.